Oh, I tried to fight Khamzat and Burns got it. I tried to fight Neal and Burns got it. I tried to fight this. I tried to fight that. 3 weeks is when this fight's happening. If he goes out there on 3 weeks' notice and beats Belal impressively, Burns should be fighting Leon. It should happen. The fight I didn't know I wanted is official. Gilbert Burns versus Belal Muhammad, and it's so soon. It's May 6th. This fight, it's my birthday, by the way. It's happening May 6th, and this is straight off a dominant victory Burns had over Jorge Masvidal. I said his name right. I said I'd never do that. Got his name right. George Masvidal. Anyways, the fight is on. I love this matchup. Now, Belal is a jiu-jitsu fella with some grappling, with some wrestling, and decent hands. Gilbert Burns has power, not a ton of technique with those hands, but a lot of power, and he's got the jiu-jitsu base that has not been matched in the UFC since maybe Jacare, maybe. I think he's better than Jacare, smaller. But he has got the jiu-jitsu credentials that are not very commonly seen in MMA, in the UFC, in any of the grappling tournaments. His grappling alone was able to scare Khamzat away. He scared the wrestling Dagestani, or is he Swedish? Swedish Dagestani guy who has made his career out of wrestling people from wrestling him. That's how good his jiu-jitsu is. Belal Muhammad has won everything he can win with grappling. He's done a lot with the grappling, but he sets it up a little bit more. Like, if they were video game characters, their stats and all that, they're about the same height, about the same weight. Well, they are the same weight. About the same everything. But now you'd give Belal Muhammad, he has a 7 or 8 on every category. Grappling is probably an 8. Striking's a 7. Power is probably 6 or 7. His conditioning doesn't go. His conditioning might get up there a little bit. We'll go solid 8 for conditioning. And then you go to the Gilbert Burns side of things. Gilbert Burns grappling out of 10 is an 11. It is as good as it gets. Now his wrestling, not so much. I'll give it a 6 to 7. His power is probably 7 to 8. His actual technique is 6 to 7. So overall, he is a weaker fighter than Belal is. But Belal's going to grapple. It's going to come down to grappling. It just is. Good jiu-jitsu guys are always convinced they are the best jiu-jitsu guys, whether they are not. The difference here is Gilbert truly is the better jiu-jitsu guy. Is his jiu-jitsu going to be good enough to cancel the slight advantage in wrestling that Belal has? Maybe. I'm excited for the fight. I can't wait to find out. In the past, like I said, Burns, he has only lost twice in the last long time. His record, he's 22-5, great record. He only lost to Usman, the champion, and he lost to Khamzat. Although Khamzat, I would have liked to see in a 5-round fight. Also worth noting, this against Belal and against Burns, it's 5 rounds. They both wanted it. Makes me nervous for Burns because Burns does get tired. Not against Neal. And only a little bit against Khamzat. Khamzat got more tired. That's crazy. Belal will be fine. 5 rounds will be nothing for him. He trains for 5 rounds. Gilbert Burns, here's a secret about jiu-jitsu guys. The guys that are good at jiu-jitsu, Vince, they don't need conditioning because their jiu-jitsu is going to be good enough to win the fight. So Burns could get tired in 5 rounds. I could see him winning the first couple rounds and then really tuckering out come round 4 or come round 5. Belal won't. Now, can Belal survive to that round? If I'm a bet man, and I am, I'm going to bet on Burns to finish Belal. 5 rounds, I like it. I do. I think Belal's going to be overly confident in how good his grappling is, and I think he's going to get caught. Maybe not a submission, but some dominant ground and pound led by submission attempts. I could see that happening. I think it's going to. I'm betting on Gilbert to finish, but I'm not sold. I'm going to rewatch their fights and see what's going on. Belal hasn't fought in God knows how long. He's tried to fight. In his honor, he keeps saying, or in his defense, he keeps saying, I tried to fight Khamzat and Burns got it. I tried to fight Neal and Burns got it. I tried to fight this. I tried to fight that. But at the end of the day, the fact is he has not fought anyone. He has not been able to. He got in the ring with Leon Edwards, poked him in the eye. I understand that stoppage too. Eye pokes ruin fights. I'll do a video on that maybe tomorrow. Eye pokes ruin fights. I mean, they are bad. Now this fight, It's going to come down to who can grapple the best, I believe. I think Belil is going to think his grappling is good enough to mix with his hands, and Gilbert is going to think, I'm going to get him to the ground and submit him, do whatever I want. And I think it's going to happen. I think Gilbert's going to get him to the ground. I don't think, if you start, that's something you'll see in the live betting, is if Gilbert pulls guard, bet on Belil. I don't think he'll do it until he needs to. I think Gilbert's going to start shooting off the bat, come up with that big overhand, and start looking for that big takedown. I think he's going to get it. I think he's going to be able to grind him out. Now, as cool as this fight is, and this fight is very cool, I love this matchup just stylistically. I'm picking Burns to win, but I'm not convinced. I'm not putting a lot of money on it, but I'm picking Burns to win. The cool, most anticipatory part of this entire matchup is who then fights Leon Edwards. This is the one matchup that might make me say, all right, he gets to fight Leon over Colby. I love the Colby versus Leon fight. I want to see Colby with that belt on his waist. I think he beats Leon. I kind of think Burns does too. Belil, of the three, I put Belil in the lowest. He could still beat Leon, but I'm not as convinced that time. Like, I'm not sure he was going to win the last time when he poked him in the eye. If he gets the rematch, I think it'd be worthy to see. But who gets it? If Burns beats Belil, let's say 5-round decision, does that give him enough, potency to say, I want to fight Leon? Maybe. If Burns come out and dominate Belil, like gets that submission, big flying omoplata, doesn't happen. Flying omoplata, he gets it on Belil, gets that win. It would be hard for me, a diehard Colby fan, to say that Burns doesn't deserve that title shot. It would be crazy for me to think that Burns wouldn't deserve it with a big win like that. So I think Burns has got a lot going for this. He's taking a very close together fight. Its weight cut's probably going to be difficult for him. We're going to see if his conditioning is up, because something you guys may or may not know is after a fighter is done fighting, we get fat, we get slow, we get lazy for a while. He doesn't have that much time to get fat, slow, and lazy, or to snap out of it. He's got to get back in that gym like as of yesterday, because this fight's coming up quick. 3 weeks. 3 weeks is when this fight's happening. If he goes out there on 3 weeks' notice and beats Belil impressively, Burns should be fighting Leon. It should happen. He should jump Colby. Colby then should fight Belil. And that's Colby fights the loser if it's a dominant win. If Belil comes out and just dominates Burns, maybe you make the case for him fighting Leon. I don't like how the last fight ended with him poking him in the eye. That bothered me. But it is what it is. Maybe I wouldn't be as upset. Colby hasn't fought in a while either, given he had a broken jaw. I think Masvidal broke his jaw in that street fight and that street sneak-up fight. Who do you guys think should fight Leon next? My money, as of right this second, is still Colby. I want the contract signed. I want that fight to happen, let's say July. However, if Gilbert comes out with a big, dominant, quick win, just proving how good he is, I think he jumps Colby. If Leon does the same thing, or if Belil does the same thing to Burns, comes out with a big dominant win, maybe he fights Colby for a number one contender spot. That's where I'm at. What do you guys think? I think Leon loses to all three of them. Belil is the best fighter. Belil is the best fight of the three, but I think he loses to all three, and I hate saying that about a champion. He's done well. He's defended his belt against the guy who took it from, the guy who beat him. So I'm power to him. I can't wait to see who wins. And maybe if Belil loses, Usman gets to fight him next. Anyway, that's my opinion. Tell me what you think. Tell me where I'm wrong. And thanks for watching. Thanks for following, guys.